Welcome. This is a virtual meeting for Columbia Public Schools and Columbia Area Career Center to talk about work-based learning. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brandon Russell, and I'm the director here at Columbia Area Career Center. We have been talking for several months about work-based learning, and the purpose of this meeting is to continue getting feedback from our stakeholders, particularly those that are in the classroom, as well as those of you that are in business and industry and throughout the community supporting our programs. So with that said, I'd like to share with you a few thoughts about where we're going and the purpose and what we're doing here. So on behalf of the Career Center, I want to say that we appreciate your time and dedication to continue to work with us. And so your input is very, very valuable to us, and we hope that you'll take some time to give us some feedback. So as I said, the purpose of this meeting is to ask you to look through some documents that we have and then give us some feedback on where we're at in our progress with work-based learning. So I want to take you back though, and let's talk about what is WBL. Well, WBL is work-based learning. And so it's really a strategy that provides students with real-life work experiences, and more importantly, it's experiences that get them engaged within business and industry, but also that interaction between those of you that are working in industry or within business to support their development as a student. So our journey really started back in the fall at Vision Day, and many of you were there. And so it was a great experience for us, and we centered our conversation around a driving question that was, how can we create mutually beneficial work-based learning experiences for both students as well as those from business and industry? So we had some great conversations, and from that information we really were able to gather down and really work into 5 key areas of work-based learning experiences that we should focus our attention on. And it ranged everything from a high-quality field trip to job shadowing to mentorships to a formal internship or an informal internship, and then ultimately apprenticeships. So we had a lot of great conversation to that day, and so we took that information, we kind of focused in on those 5 key areas, and then we asked many of you to come back again. And so in December we had some action-focused lunches, and that's where we had each one of those experiences, and we had some key questions that we wanted you to engage in. And so as a group, we looked at things like, what does it look like? What are the activities? What kind of communications are necessary? What does it look like from a student's point of view or from the employer's viewpoint? And so what are some of those, also administrative steps and those kinds of things that are important? So from there, we were able to kind of draft a document and give us some focus on where we should go next. What was great about that conversation was it helped us identify some key things. One of them, for example, is we needed to identify what's the key learning outcome or outcomes for these experiences. And that came from an employer who said, I really need to know if I'm going to do an internship or I'm going to do a mentorship, what exactly does the school system need us to get out of that experience and help support? So great conversation around that. So we were then able to take that, and then I took a team there were 8 of us. We had teachers, administrators, and counselors that went to the Southern Regional Education Board's Technology Centers at Work annual leadership forum. And so it was there that we went through a problem-solving process, and we took the ideas that we got from you, and we worked on discussing the root causes of that disconnect between our students and you. We talked about, a timeline. How do we establish some priorities? And we were able to kind of think about what are we going to do over the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And this is a part of that 30-day feedback loop that we're wanting to accomplish through this meeting. So we came out of there with a real clear vision and focus on next steps. And so this is a big part of that. So what's next for you with these industry tours, job shadows, mentorships, internships, or apprenticeships? Well, essentially, we need your feedback. So I'm going to take you through the survey real quick, and you'll have a link. You're actually already in it. This is not the video, obviously. This will be me. But below that, you can actually click Next, and that'll take you to the key part of the survey. So from here, again, I want to note, we'd like you to give us some feedback by April 5th. It'd be really helpful for us. So that gives you some time, a couple of weeks, to really take some time to go through this. The first step is we need your name, email, and your company name, so we can get that in the database so that we know where you're from. So I'm just going to fill in here myself so I can get to the next page. This is required field, so you will have an opportunity to give us feedback on one or all of these 5 different areas. So throughout this document, you'll see. So I'm going to just click on Industry Tour and go Next, and then that'll take me to the information from the Industry Tour. So here, what we'd like you to do is read this draft of the information below and then answer some open-ended questions. So for each one of these, we've also given you a definition of that work-based learning experience that we've pulled out of a variety of documents. Okay, so once you kind of understand the definition, then what we would like you to do is take a look through these our draft document. And so what we've done as a part of the forum, and then now, or since then, we've looked at what are some of those things the students are going to have to agree to, or assurances they're going to have to make. Same with the instructor, our either CACC as a whole or the instructor. What do they have to agree to? What about the employer? And also, what are those major activities? What are things that are happening throughout this experience? Here's some kind of a draft idea of what a timeline might look like. What are those expected outcomes? And then what are some required artifacts, whether from the school or particularly from the student standpoint, okay? So what we'd like you to do is look through those, all right? This is a working document on our end, and then give us feedback. What did you like about this? What would you change, or what do you think's missing in there? And are there any barriers or concerns you may foresee? So these are open-ended, they're not required. You can skip a question, but please give us some feedback about that, each one of those. All right, so if that's the last one you want to do and the only one, you can just click I'm done and it'll take you to the last section. But I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to click, I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to give feedback on one more, and that's internship. So I click on internship, I click next, and it'll take you to that page. Again, we've given you a definition here. All right, and then some of the pre-work we've done to draft what that experience might look like. And again, once you read through that, you'll have an opportunity to give us feedback on what did you like, what would you change, or what do you think is missing, and then what are some perceived barriers or concerns that you may perceive from the current information that we have. And then again, you can go to one of the other 5, or if you're done, you just click I'm done, click next, and it'll take you to this last page. And this is where you can just feel free to make any comments there that you think would be beneficial to us, or things that we need to think about that may be general in nature and don't necessarily specifically pertain to one of those individual work-based learning experiences. And then when you're done, just click submit and you'll be good to go, and we'll be able to check your feedback along with everybody else's. Okay, so that's it, and we appreciate your time. I know your time is valuable, but we're hopeful that you will take some time over the next couple of weeks to take a look at this and give us the valuable feedback we need. Next steps are, we want to refine this document. We're creating a handbook per se that answers some of those frequently asked questions, and just establishes those guidelines for each one of these experiences. From there, we're going to create the necessary documents we need to get the right permissions, communicate what we need to do between the 2 parties involved, and start putting this in action. We're still hopeful we can experiment with some of these, test drive some experiences this spring. Otherwise, we're going to be rolling out plans this fall, and hopefully getting many of you engaged in these high-quality work-based learning experiences for our students here at Columbia Area Career Center. So again, on behalf of Columbia Public Schools and Columbia Area Career Center, Thank you for your time. Appreciate your feedback, and we look forward to sharing with you the results of this virtual meeting. Take care, and we'll see you soon.